Hey, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to be here today to talk about our latest feature of our solution, Wisdom for Tableau, about automated Tableau performance and load testing. For Tableau, of course. And I'm very happy to be joined today by my colleague Ace. Ace, how's it going?
It's going really well. I'm excited to be here and showcase some of the new features that we have in Wisdom for Tableau. So yeah, excited to be here.
Ace, where are you calling us from today?
I am currently in the DC office of Salesforce, calling in live, and yeah, it's nice. It's cold a little bit here, but I'm excited to be back in this office.
Well, that is really cool. And me, usually I'm based in London. I'm Patrick. I'm the VP of products, but I'm happily presenting today from our headquarters in Lille, which is in the north of France. So, yeah, very happy to be here with the entire engineering team, the marketing team. You can't see behind the team here, so it's great. And I even brought this back with me just especially for this conference. Can you see the T-shirt, Ace? Yes.
I can see it. Yeah,
I love
that's
data.
fun.
I love Tableau, of course. So, yes, we have, very interesting session today. Just before we start, um, this is a LinkedIn event, so go to the comment box of the LinkedIn presentation. Please submit your questions at any time, and we'll make sure to do a quick review at the end of your different questions. And of course, this is a recorded event. We'll send you the link. The link will be available for you to watch later on once again. So no need to take a crazy amount of snapshots here today. Why don't you send just a quick test? Why don't people send in the comment box just where they watching us from today? So I'm in Lille. We have Washington. I know there's a few of us in France, so I can't wait to see where everybody is joining from today. Okay, the agenda. So we'll talk about the importance of performance and load testing to start with. I think it's a good place to start. And then, of course, a lot of you will know that Tableau already has a way of doing this. It's called Tabjolt. Tabjolt's been around for many years. We'll expand on that. So this is the current approach, but it has challenges and limitations. So this is why at Wiiisdom we came up with a newer version of our existing performance testing. We released it a couple of months ago. So we'll talk about our new no-code solution, which is super easy to use, accurate, transparent results, fully supported, and Ace will do an awesome demo to show you how simple it is and how the sort of great results you will receive. And then I'll close by a couple of case studies and success stories we have from existing customers who are using Wiiisdom on a daily basis for performance testing and other kind of testing, of course. So one slide about who we are. We are Wiiisdom. We deliver analytics governance solutions for Tableau, of course. Some of you may use Power BI, SAP Business Objects. This is how we started 15 years ago. So we are multi-BI technology. We like governance. We want to help you automate that process. And what do? We do automated testing, performance testing, but also functional regression. We do a lot of things about automated testing, lifecycle management. So helping you promoting, deploying content between different Tableau sites, Tableau servers, Tableau projects. And we have some exciting stuff coming in the future around lifecycle management in general, version control of content in Tableau. We'll do a lot of great announcements at TC, and I'll come back to that a bit later on. And of course, the idea is that when you're past development, you want to keep an eye on everything, and you want to do continuous monitoring. And Wiiisdom can help you with all of these things here. Okay, the importance of performance and load testing. We'll monitor your questions and comments later on, but Why do we want to do this, right? There's three things here. Performance testing is quite a global name, a wide umbrella, right? So we have performance testing, load testings, and there's also stress testing. These things can mean different things, but at the end of the day, what we want is proactively find out if there's going to be any problem related to performance. Now, what can that mean? It can mean, is my environment going to be stable when I have extra users? That's easy, but not only users, the content. If I'm going to have more data sources, more extract, bigger dashboards, and these dashboards are used by more and more people. Think here not only internal users, but maybe external users when you start doing embedded analytics inside your internal or external portals. We know people monetize these kind of dashboard and analytics externally. So yes, proactively determine if your platform, your environment will handle all this. Determine if once you deploy new dashboard, new data sources, and you use them at scale with a lot of different users with different type of profiles and security, am I still going to have the expected user experience? And this can help you with, in the case of Tableau server, managing your costs, making sure the platform is built and sized properly, not under, but not necessarily over either. It will lower your risk, especially once again, people who are monetizing content externally. You don't want to give bad performance. You want to have some sort of good quality SLA. You want to make sure your platform is stable and always available. In the case of Tableau Cloud, because we support Tableau Cloud as well, you don't really need to stress test Tableau Cloud. The Tableau team is doing an awesome job maintaining that platform for you. But when you move from Tableau server to Tableau Cloud, maybe you want to document and demonstrate that the user experience will remain the same. And when you release new content, again, it doesn't matter if it's server or cloud here, the infrastructure still needs to give you good results. And this is where you can determine over time, and especially performance testing is not something you would just do once. You want to do regularly at different times of the day to say, okay, well, I'm going to simulate having 20 users right now, consuming a reasonable real-life amount of content, potentially even interacting with these reports. Well, at 9 a.m. versus 11 a.m. after lunch, what sort of different experience do I have? So again, importance, a lot of good reasons to do performance and load testing, and automate that and do it regularly. Now, we have Tabjolt today. Ace, tell us a bit more about Tabjolt today. Where it comes from, how it's used. It does a lot of great things, but it has challenges as well. So tell us more about this.
Sure. So Tabjolt is pretty familiar to anyone who's used Tableau for health checks, especially on the server side, or they want to make sure their dashboards are performant. It's a community built product. It works really well in many scopes. But because it has a very elaborate installation and configuration process, it's a little tricky to start with. So it has some dependencies that you want to make sure you're able to install before you can actually run Tabjolt. You have to configure Tabjolt accordingly, and ultimately you have to run a script and adjust the script with the parameters, which is something that it requires a bit of an education gap to get there. But again, the goal really here is to use the tool to do exactly what you mentioned. Ensure the health checks of your products, ensure you're able to simulate a certain amount of users within a certain amount of range of time to open or interact with the dashboard and go with the results that come from it.
Yeah, so in terms of architecture, Tabjolt is a different approach to what we do here at Wiiisdom. So prior to our January release, we were using Tabjolt as a dependency to do our own performance testing. Tabjolt itself is built on top of something called JMeter, a well-known performance testing solution, especially for web interface. And what will it do? It will do proper stress testing. If you say, hey, I want to simulate having 100 users opening, these these URLs in a certain amount of time, it will just go ahead and hammer your server really hard. Proper stress testing. It will kill your server if it's what you want it to do. Now, is this really what is representative of the real life? To have a component which will simulate calling URLs using some sort of API, sends thousands of links per seconds or even minutes, and then determine if the server can cope with this or not. Now, I personally think I've done a lot of performance testing in my career. Before Tableau, I was working with SAP Business Objects. It's important to test real life scenarios. If you have 1,000 users on your Tableau server, you are not going to have 1,000 users logged on, viewing reports, dashboards, clicking on the next page precisely at the same time. Now, if you want to test that, that's fine. But it's important to test a real life scenario. The second thing is what sort of technology is using that in the background. If you have a little engine just throwing a lot of URLs very, very quickly, is that the same as having a real user opening a browser, going to a tab, opening a workbook, clicking on the dashboard, and then, thinking a little bit about it, about, oh, okay, this is interesting, then go to maybe another tab? This is more realistic. And this is the approach here we took at Wiiisdom. At Wiiisdom, when you do performance and load testing, we will simulate a real life user. That user in the background, what we will do is we will open a browser session. That browser session will log on to Tableau. Once we log on, we will open that view, so the worksheet or the workbook. We will wait for Tableau to render that page, and as if it was presented to you in real life, you can do a bit of think time if you want, and then we'll repeat. And you can do that through a number of concurrent users and a number of different views, of course. So our approach is we really want to simulate performance and load testing of real users with real user experience. And that way, we will create a real-life load on your server that you can document and get the right results, the right insights to then take the necessary actions, if any. Ace, why don't you show us how simple it is to use, and how great the results are?
That sounds great. So I want to just first start with the process. What does it take to configure Wiiisdom for a performance test that we have to offer here? First of all, the installation and configuration of Wiiisdom is fairly straightforward. You download the zip file and you just unzip to your local machine, and you go ahead and open the tool for yourself. Then, once you have configured the application to connect to your Tableau server or cloud environment, all you really need to do is click on the plus button, choose the performance testing here, name the test, and you're ready to get started. Now, this is where the fun starts. This is probably what you're used to if you've used Tabjolt before. With the parameters that we have available here, we're essentially allowing users to configure these tests very simply, just adjusting the numbers. For example, how long do you want this test to run for? The run duration can be 60 seconds on default, or you can increase it if you'd like to. This is probably where you're going to be spending a lot of your time when you're fine-tuning your test based on the different health checks that you're doing. So once you have the run duration set up, then you can decide on the number of concurrent users, how many concurrent users you want this dashboard or these vizzes to open by. And you can also choose the pacing, the pause time between every test. So really take it as close as possible to that user experience, to that human interaction with a dashboard. Now on the bottom, we see the Tableau Viz pool. This is where you decide exactly which vizzes you want to be interacting with during your test. And another portion that we see here is, by default, your username that you've defined on the Wiiisdom side will be the user that will be adjusted for this test. But you can add additional users too. And if this user exists within your Tableau ecosystem, it will interact as that user. And this is really helpful for a lot of different reasons, especially when those users have different level of detail for their data. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting with the SLA, because with SLAs, you can actually define what this test really means. Because as you choose the severity of this test, what does this really mean? Different organizations might have different performance goals. At some organizations, 5 seconds and under is acceptable. At some organizations, 3 seconds and under. Some other organizations might have 10. If your organization has more than 25 seconds, I think that's a whole different conversation to be had. But here, this is where you define these SLAs for yourself so that when this test runs, you can see what this really means. And I'll show you in a moment.
It's a
So,
good question. I'll
sure,
just jump in. I'll just jump in. So you're
please.
telling me you created that test in what, less than 60 seconds or something?
That's all it takes. All you have to do is adjust these items. All I had to do was drag and drop this test, adjust the numbers as I like, and kind of fine tune it as I go. And at that stage, I am ready. I'm ready to run this test. And I have previously ran this test, so I want to show you what happens after the fact. So once this test runs, I can come back and look at the report of those results. So I can see there were some failure points. And I can either take a look at this report on the application itself, or I can open it in a browser just to get a little bit additional real estate. Now, based on the SLAs that I've defined, it looks like the overall aptX goal falls within the range of fair. My availability was all right, but I can also take a look at the response times in a really nice scatter plot and kind of see the breakdown of those different IDs that ran here for myself. And lastly, I can take it a little deeper, look at the granular level of this event log. And if you notice here, what I really like about this view is that at the top, we see the initial views take a little bit longer than the following. And there's a good reason for that, because every time we open up a viz on the Tableau side, those initial views the initial runs are always slower. And then caching mechanism happens, and of course, it runs a lot faster. So this is a great representation of why this view is much closer to the user experience as we open the views and interact with them. Lastly, I just want to close this loop by mentioning that, great, with every test in Wiiisdom, you're able to schedule that test so that it runs at a different cadence. So this is helpful if you do want to run this test at different times of the day because you're experiencing inconsistent results, maybe during the peak hours or off hours, and ultimately integrate with your email, Slack, or webhooks to be able to be notified when that test runs, if that test runs successfully, or most importantly, if that test fails. Back to you, Patrick. Any other questions?
No, that was great. So basically, in less than a minute, you created a test. The results are full detailed about which view we opened, which user was simulated, and how long it took for a real user using a real browser to perform that action. Is it pretty much what we're saying here?
That's it. All it took was just a few seconds or a minute or two just to get the test up and running. And at that stage, you start to kind of fine tune the test based on the different criteria you have.
Wow, well, that's awesome. So, listen, in this demonstration, Ace, thank you very much. We showed you that it takes a minute to install Wiiisdom. It takes you another minute to create your tests. And all the results, the documentation of these tests are full detailed and all transparent. So this is information that you can, really use. Go back to the IT team, or the IT team can consume these results and say, okay, this is where I have some bottlenecks either on my server, or maybe I have some content that performs better than others, and these others maybe I need to take some actions. Oh wow, that's great. And we wanted to create a little comparison summary here. Ace, do you want to do just not read every word here, but maybe like highlight at the bigger points?
Sure. At the big picture, the difference here really is the complexity of the installation of configuration that comes with Tabjolt is almost non-existent on the Wiiisdom side because it's really just opening up the tool and start configuring it. There's no dependency on any backend databases on the Wiiisdom side, like Postgres databases. And obviously, it's a very no-code friendly zone for yourself to be able to run the test and ultimately share the results with your team at scale.
So easy to install. We support all different operating systems. As opposed to Tabjolt, we also support Tableau Cloud if it's something that is needed. Ace mentioned that no dependency. As you've seen here, not a single line of code. So You don't need to be technical to use any of the features in Wiiisdom for Tableau, transparent results. And, we are a Tableau partner. You may have seen us at TC last year. We'll be back this year. You may have seen us at some user group and all that. Yeah, we're a Tableau partner. This is all we do here, software, giving you a great quality software. So our solutions are fully supported. And when there's something, you can be sure that it will be resolved very quickly. Now, I'll talk about a couple of case studies and success stories. Please don't hesitate with your questions. We'll take them in a few minutes. I want to talk about Massif. I'm in France today. I wanted to talk about Massif, which is a big insurance company. And Massif, well, the use case is really interesting. They are with Tableau server at the moment, and they want to go to Tableau Cloud. But not only that, they want to add more users to their platform. So what they wanted to do is to make sure that there's a smooth transition between the Tableau server and the Tableau Cloud while maintaining the user experience, identify potential bottlenecks, where they could improve, if any, and do this regularly so they can, document the results and have and identify where they can do anything. So here we go. They use Wiiisdom, run different times of the day, simulate a number of users, a number of opening documentation workbooks. Sorry, but and at the end of the day, use our very detailed reports to analyze the results. So a great case study and ongoing success stories, which is great. We also have, here's another one, this one in the US, the Department of Health and Human Services. Totally different use case here. This government agency are basically embedding Tableau dashboards that are available to the public so they can see their benefits. Now, something that is available, externally available to end users, it has to be uptime all the time, right? 100% or near 100%. You cannot just have a system which is down. So since they have external users using their system, it needs to be up, and they have an internal SLA of 4 seconds. So when a user opens a dashboard in its browser, it needs to be sub 4 seconds. And remember, again, one key difference between Tabjolt and Wiiisdom is with Wiiisdom, we will really simulate the real experience of an end user, how long it takes for the browser to fetch the dashboard, render it on the screen, and this is the performance we give you here, just not the time it took for an API call to run. So again, great to have the Department of Health to use Wiiisdom to help them with their embedded analytics. It's not here on the screen, but also think of the other very obvious use case where you have a department or a team. The team will say, okay, we're going to release this brand new couple of big dashboards, right? These data applications to a number of users. It's using new data sets, new extract, and you want to know how is it going to perform alongside these other things. So again, this is where the automated testing is going for the release phase, and then the ongoing testing and monitoring, so you can be alerted automatically and proactively when there is a failure. All right, just before we go with the questions, I talked about TC of 2023. Well, welcome San Diego. We'll be there in April 2024. So we have one of the biggest stands. Will be about, I'm looking at the marketing team here, 12, 15-ish of us from the US and Europe. So looking forward to seeing you there. Do send us a comment. I'll see you at TC if you're coming as well. Not only will show you our performance testing, we'll show you our functional testing, regression testing, and we'll make some big announcement around lifecycle management, compliance features in our product, and version control. So lots of big announcements and presentations will be made at TC24 in San Diego. So I hope to see you there face to face. I'm lucky I'll be there. Ace, are you coming?
I'll be there also, and I'm looking forward to it.
Rhetorical question. Of course, Ace will be there. Awesome. Okay. While we are looking at the Q&A, I'm not sure if there are any. Yes, there. There's two. Excellent. I just wanted to share. So all of you, take your phone out and scan this QR code on your screen. We'd love if you would spend a minute or two of your time to fill a quick survey about the state of your analytics governance. Just a few questions so we can learn a bit more. I mean, it's totally anonymous. It's the idea here is to learn more about the patterns of different companies and their personas out there. So while we look at the questions, please take your phone, scan the QR code, and spend a minute or two doing that survey. We would greatly appreciate it. All right. The questions. All right. I cannot see them on my screen. We have a bit of technology. Can somebody read me the question, please?
I can go ahead and read it for everyone. Hi, team.
Oh, yes, Ace.
Thanks
Go
for the demo. Just a couple of questions. How does the pricing work? What implications are there for live connections? Can it only work based on embedded credentials?
Okay, so there's a few great questions here. In terms of the pricing, I'm the head of the product here, ACE's solution engineering. Let us come back to you offline on this one. But long story short, it is a pricing based on the Wiiisdom user. So not on the amount of users you have in your Tableau platform, but the amount of Wiiisdom users that will be using our product. So I hope this is at least telling you how the licensing model works, and then I'll let some of my colleagues expand on the pricing offline. The other question was about live, and I don't know if we mean here live data sources as opposed to extract. I'm not sure if it's what the question is. Ace, I don't know if you want to answer that one.
I'd be happy to take this one. There's no implications for live connection. They work exactly the same as live or extract. We're exactly simulating the human experience, meaning how long does it take for a viz to open. So if there's a live connection and that might take longer, you'll see that impact on the performance results. But there's no implications. They work exactly the same.
Oh, that's a great question. And the final part was about the embedded canvas or something like this?
If it works based on embedded credentials only.
So not embedded, but we connected apps. So the way we operate with Wiiisdom for performance testing is based on connected apps, which was released after 2023.1, I believe. So hence the fact that we support Tableau Cloud, and Tabjolt is not supporting it. So as long as you have a connected app defined, it takes 30 seconds to create a connected app. You just have to be an admin. There's no TSM, no difficult command line to do. You create the connected app in Tableau. You fill 3 boxes in Wiiisdom, and you're all ready to go. Okay, what was the next question?
All right. So the next question is there any security vulnerabilities identified, and how you handle it, like timeline perspective? You want to take this one, Patrick?
Okay, I'll take it as as responsible for the product here. So we've been around for 16 years. We have about 600 customers, from the small to medium companies to the very large banks, insurance companies, government agencies. So yes, we always monitor our services and our software for CVEs, for security issues, and when there is a such security like Log4j that came out a couple of years ago, we work immediately on it, and we have a release very quickly. So in the case of Log4j, for instance, I don't remember exactly, but less than 10 days later, we had a final product, which is ahead of some of our vendors even. So again, we process these things with urgency based on their severity. So we do 4 releases a year officially. Sometimes it's 5 to 6 releases a year, but CVEs is when we find them based on the severity. Yeah, that's for sure. I hope that answers the questions. All right. Okay. I'm told there's no more question. Well, Ace, it was a pleasure to present with you today. Thank you for your time. I see there is a no, I see nothing actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Ace, a few final words.
No, this was a great time to be able to finally showcase what we have going on here. It's very exciting for me to be able to show this to a lot of our customers right now, and I was very excited to show this as a whole. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me directly or anyone in our team. But thank you.
So absolutely reach out if you want to trial our solution. We'll be very happy to give you a download link, a trial key, and yeah, and you can experience firsthand our solution for Tableau. Okay, everybody. Hopefully, see you at TC or in a future user group around the world, and have a good rest of your day.